6 months later, Mai Kan's inbox was flooded. Emails from Margaret and from countless others around the world filled her screen. Each message was a small victory, a testament to the power of a single, honest conversation. The seeds of understanding she had planted were beginning to sprout in the most unexpected places. One day, a special email arrived. Margaret was coming to Vietnam. She didn't want to just hear about it anymore. She wanted to see it, feel it, and understand it for herself. True to her word, she arrived with an open heart and a curious mind. Mai Kan became her guide on a journey that would forever change Margaret's perspective. They started in Hanoi, wandering through the ancient streets of the old quarter, where the scent of pho and the hum of a million motorbikes filled the air. Margaret was captivated by the city's vibrant energy, a place where ancient temples stood peacefully next to modern cafes. They then traveled to Quang Tri, a province that still bore the deep scars of war. Standing on the historic Hien Luang Bridge, which once divided North and South Vietnam, Margaret felt a profound silence. The stories Mai Kan had told her were no longer just words. They were etched into the very landscape. Their journey took them to the vast national martyrs' cemeteries. As they walked among the endless rows of headstones, each one representing a life given for their country, the scale of the sacrifice became overwhelmingly clear. Margaret saw young Vietnamese students lighting incense, their faces etched with reverence and gratitude for a generation they never knew. This wasn't just history. It was a living, breathing memory. To show her the other side of Vietnam, the side of resilience and creation, Mai Kan took Margaret to bustling industrial parks, showcasing the nation's rapid economic growth. They saw modern factories and ambitious young engineers shaping the future. Then they visited traditional craft villages, where artisans, using skills passed down through generations, created beautiful lacquerware and silk. Margaret saw a country that honored its past while forging a dynamic future. Their final destination was the Trong Son National Cemetery. Surrounded by the quiet dignity of the mountains, this was where the weight of history finally settled upon Margaret. Standing amidst the graves of countless young soldiers, she saw not just statistics or abstract historical figures, but sons, brothers, and fathers. She pictured their families, their hopes, their dreams. The pain of war, raw and universal, transcended politics and ideology. And there, in the quiet solitude of the cemetery, Margaret finally understood. The tears streamed down her face, tears not of pity, but of profound empathy and shared humanity. She hugged Mai Kan, a silent apology and a promise of a new beginning. Margaret wasn't the only one whose life had been transformed. Brandon, the aspiring academic, decided to extend his stay in Vietnam. He moved in with a local family in a rural village, immersing himself completely in their daily life. He learned to plant rice, cook traditional meals, and share stories over cups of green tea. This experience became the heart of his postgraduate thesis, which was no longer just about economic models but about the resilience, hospitality, and unbreakable spirit of the Vietnamese people. Elena, back in Sweden, had found her calling. She became a passionate cultural ambassador, organizing Vietnamese film festivals, art exhibitions, and cooking classes. She worked tirelessly to build a bridge between her home and the country that had captured her heart, replacing old stereotypes with vibrant, authentic stories. She wanted her people to see the Vietnam she had seen through Mai Kan's eyes. And Julian, the thoughtful observer, began writing a book. It was an exploration of the common misunderstandings between East and West. At its center was a powerful chapter dedicated to Vietnam, a chapter he asked Mai Kan to review. He wanted to ensure he captured the nuances, the quiet strength, and the deep-seated values he had come to admire. He was no longer just an observer. He was an advocate for deeper understanding. A year after their initial meeting, Mai Kan stood on a stage at the World Youth Conference. The room was filled with bright, eager faces from every corner of the globe. As she looked out at the crowd, her eyes found Brandon, Alina, and Margaret. They were sitting in the front row, their smiles radiating warmth and support. Taking a deep breath, Mai Kan began to speak, her voice clear and steady. "True power," she said, "lies not in our ability to persuade or win arguments. It lies in our ability to make others want to seek the truth for themselves. Each one of us can be an ambassador for our country, not through grand speeches, but by living a life of integrity, by spreading love, and by seeking to understand before we seek to be understood." As she spoke, the smiles on her friends' faces widened. They were living proof of her words, a testament to the transformative power of tolerance and an open heart. 3 years later, Mai Kan found herself at another international event. Hundreds of flags fluttered in the breeze, a vibrant tapestry representing the nations of the world. Her gaze found the familiar red flag with a golden star. It was flying high, dancing in the wind. A profound sense of peace washed over her. She smiled to herself, thinking, "Our flag does not fly alone. It flies alongside hearts from all over the world, hearts that yearn for understanding, for peace, and for cooperation. It flies with the hearts of Margaret, Brandon, Alina, and so many others who had chosen to look beyond the headlines and see the humanity within." The story of their friendship rippled outwards, a small stone cast into a global pond. It was a reminder that the world is changed not by grand declarations, but by the small everyday choices we make. Every honest conversation, every genuine smile, every act of kindness, each one is a thread in the fabric of a more peaceful world. And so, this is the truest way to defend what we love. Not with force or with angry arguments, but with knowledge, with love, and with unwavering perseverance. It's about building bridges, one heart at a time, until the flags of all nations fly together, not in competition, but in a shared celebration of our common humanity. Thank you for joining us on this journey. If this story resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe for more content that aims to connect and inspire.